Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' It products to make these cards, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. Today I'd like to share with you my second alternative project using the November 2020 paper pumpkin kit called Jolly Gingerbread. Now, the original project for this kit was this cute gift card holder. It's a double-sided card design that opens at the top, and then you can place it inside one of these cute envelopes. Those who received this kit received enough supplies to make 15 of these cards. And I show the contents of this kit as well as how to create this card in my unboxing video, which you can watch through the playlist, and I will link that in the top right corner. Part of that same unboxing video, I created this fun treat box idea. This was not an original idea of mine. I saw it as an alternative idea from the instructions sheet in the box, and I thought I'd just share with you how I would put it together, and so that can also be found in that unboxing video. So for today's cards, I am using those same contents in the kit combined with some cardstock from my craft room to make these cute holiday cards. So let's get started. So let's just start by going through the supplies you'll need. From the kit, you're going to need one of those gingerbread houses, as well as a front, and then a label. And I've chosen the Daffodil Delight label for this card. And then from your own stash, you're going to need some card bases. And I have two here in Mint Macaron. They are 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches and scored at 4 1/4. And then you're also going to need some shaded spruce rectangles. And these are 1 inch smaller, so they're 3 1/4 by 4.5 inches. And I have two of those. I have already stamped and colored and cut out one of the gingerbread stamped images from the kit. So the kit came with this really cute stamp set, and one of those images is this cute gingerbread. And so we're going to be using that for one of the alternative cards. And so I have already colored and cut out that, and you can watch how I did this in a technique video that I've made, and that is also part of that playlist that is linked up in the top right corner. Last, you're going to need a 1/2 inch strip by 3 inches, and this is for the greeting for that second card. And then I've also embellished with a little bit of the Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon. And so you can use that or something else that you have on hand. And then lastly, you're just going to need a little scrap piece of paper of Daffodil Delight, and that's going to go behind our star. And we're going to do a little fun embellishment with that star to really help it pop. So let's start with our stamping. So the first thing I want to do is stamp the little designs on the front of my house. And so I have those already on some clear blocks. And again, these images did come from the stamp set that came in the kit. And I'm using the Blushing Bride ink spot that came in the kit as well. Just going to ink that up and then hover it over this doorway. Just make sure everything is where I want it to be, and then stamp it down. And then do the same thing with the top decoration. And this just wraps around that star and centers right over that first stamp. And you're going to get something like that. So before we do any more stamping, I'm going to place this Daffodil Delight behind the star, and you can do that with one of the glue dots from the kit. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to place a glue dot in the corners, and then that should hide behind the house, and we won't see that adhesive. So I'm just going to lay that down and then rotate it until I can find a good place so that it's all covered. I have a little bit of adhesive showing, so I'm just going to go ahead and take my pickup tool and kind of tuck that underneath that white. Just like that. So what we need to do now is use a little bit of this shimmery crystal effects, and we're just going to add this to our star here, and you're going to want to put a lot so that you get a nice shiny star, and this is going to take a little bit of time to dry, so that's why we're doing it first. You can also speed the drying up a little bit by using a heat tool, but I like to just let it air dry if possible. So you're just going to squeeze a lot in the middle and then kind of spread it out. If you do get any along the edges, you can use your tip and kind of clean it up a little bit. Just make sure you clean it with a paper towel or something so that you don't have glue on your tip. Okay, so you're going to have this really fun shiny star here at the top once that dries. So go ahead and put that off to the side, and then we'll finish our stamping. So let's do our greeting next, and I'm using Happy Holidays. You could use any greeting that you have or another one from the stamp set that came in the kit, and just stamp that right there in the middle of each one of these labels. So that's all done. And then I'm not sure if you can see, but back here there is a detail with the scroll. And so we're going to go ahead and do that on both of our shaded spruce pieces. And it's this top scroll that I've used. And I have used just the Blushing Bride ink. What I like to do with my alternative projects is use the products that come in the kit and just supplement them with a couple of my things from my craft room. I want to make sure that even beginner stampers can make my alternatives. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by stamping it in the middle at the bottom. And you want it to kind of form kind of like a heart shape. So you can see that those scrolls are coming down in that heart shape. So that first one we stamped, we did the whole image, but this other one's along the edge, it's going to be a little bit off the paper. And so you're just going to bring it down. You do want the end of your stamp to be right on the end of your cardstock, but you're looking for the bottom of these scrolls here to be right along the edge of the cardstock. And then we're going to repeat and do the same thing on the other side. So again, the scroll is touching the edge and bottom of the cardstock. And then the one in the middle is a full image. And that just comes right up near the first one. And then finish the card on the other side. Okay, so you can see how those images kind of all come together to create this really fun pattern. So the last thing we're going to do is just add one of those little curlies from the stamp set in those empty spaces, just to kind of fill it in. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing on my second piece. I'm just going to speed up the video. Okay, so that second one is done. You can see that sometimes there's a little bit of overhang on that design. So it's stamped over each other, and that's okay. It's just a background design, so it's not going to really be noticeable. So if that happens to you, just keep moving forward. Okay, so all of our stamping is done, so we can go ahead and cut our gingerbread in half so we can start putting our card together. So on the back, you'll see 2 score lines, and you're just going to trim right along those score lines to remove the flap and then to cut those 2 houses in half. And then go ahead and take your card bases. So then go ahead and take your card bases, and with a bone folder, you're just going to make a nice crease. So with one design, I decided to wrap the ribbon behind the shaded spruce cardstock before adhering it to my card base. And then for the other design, I wanted to make it look more like a tag. And so I've added a little bow at the top. And so I'm just going to go ahead and show you those 2 different designs. You can pick your favorite and do it to both, or you can do a different one for each, just like I have. So I'm going to cut 16 inches of ribbon, and I'm going to wrap that around my card. And on the right side, I'm going to bring those ends together and then tie a bow right along that right edge of the shaded spruce. And then just go ahead and tie a bow. And then you can kind of manipulate that bow a little bit to get the look that you want. And then trim those ends at a nice angle, just to kind of finish the ribbon. Now we're going to add this to our card with some adhesive. And it just goes right in the center. And that just goes a little bit above middle, and it's going to be about where we put our greeting for our house. So for this one, we're going to use the gingerbread with the door. And this is added just straight onto our card. So again, a little adhesive. And you're just going to place that in the center. And now we're going to grab the front of our gingerbread house and add some dimensionals to the back. Now my Crystal Effects is still a little wet, and so I'm just going to carefully apply these to the back. And then center that right over that cute gingerbread. And then add my Happy Holidays, and I'm going to add that with a dimensional as well. And right around where that ribbon is. So that card is all done. So it comes together really quickly once you've done all your stamping. So let's go ahead and make the second card with the back of the house. So fold your card base. This time we're just going to apply the cardstock directly to the card base with no ribbon. Just center it. Just go ahead and center it like before. And then the same with the gingerbread house. That goes right in the center. Next, you can add your little house once you've stamped and colored it. And you do want to add that with dimensionals, and that just goes in the top half. So just like that. Then you're going to take your greeting, and if you have the Banners Pick-a-Punch, you can just make a little banner shape on each end. If you don't have this punch, then just use a pair of paper snips to cut that cute little flag banner from each end, and that gets added with the dimensional as well. And it just goes right underneath the gingerbread house. And then to tie your bow, I like to use about 10 inches when tying a bow with ribbon. And just you're going to match up your ends, find the middle, and then start your bow just a little bit off center so that you have enough ribbon to hopefully make the bow be about center with that ribbon. And then just kind of move it around until you get a look that you like. And then you can just take a glue dot or two and you're going to add it to the top of this gingerbread house, and it's going to look more like a tag. And then bring those ribbon ends down in case, just if they are kind of going different places, you kind of want those ends to come straight down. So if you need another glue dot or two to kind of help the direction of those ends, you can. I'm going to add another one just underneath this side because it wants to flip up, and then bring that down. Okay, and then tie or cut your ends at an angle, and then you have your cute little card, and that is all done. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create these alternative cards today. To see close-up images or get written instructions on how to create these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. If you're interested in receiving your own paper pumpkin kit, you can sign up using the link in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.